people, and welcome to our review of X-Men Apocalypse. Connor, what is this film about?
X-Men Apocalypse is about an ancient being that is thousands of years old, that is basically invincible, that rises up and the X-Men have to defeat him so he does not take over the world.
Yes.
Well, not take over the world, destroy the world.
Yeah. He's Donald Trump. So, Connor, what did you think of this film? I know you're really looking forward to it. What did you think?
This exceeded my expectations. This is on par with Days of Future Past, in my opinion. I really loved this film. I think it's better than Civil War for best superhero movie of the year.
I would disagree with that, but I respect your opinion.
Yeah, it is incredibly enjoyable. Incredibly enjoyable. Like, besides Sing Street, the most enjoyable film of the year. Quicksilver is the best part of the movie.
Oh,
again.
yeah. His witty remarks, his scene, awesome.
His scene is just awesome. Especially because the scene looks like it's going to be, like, super dark. And all of a sudden,
yeah.
It comes up. And, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
The action was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
CGI, yeah.
Wait, you thought the CGI was awesome?
I thought the CGI was good, but...
See, we'll get to that when we go to bad points.
Oh.
I honestly didn't like the CGI at all. I thought that it was actually... I thought it looked really unfinished. Like, the scene where Olivia Munn's character is coming down and she, cuts the car in half. I thought that looked awful.
Really? I thought that looked really good.
I thought that looked awful. I also thought that the dog that was eating pizza in the Quicksilver scene, I thought that just looked terrible. I don't know how that got put in the movie. That should have been finished because I thought that looked awful.
I thought it looked really good.
I thought the CGI was really bad, but yeah.
I thought that there were some scenes that were kind of green screenish, but besides that, yeah.
Yeah. So my thought, I'm sort of with Connor in the way that I think that I don't understand where the hate is coming from for this film, but I don't love it as much as him, but I do think that this is a really good film. First off, the X-Men intro is awesome.
Yeah.
As it's like going through history, shows the monoliths, just an awesome intro. Magneto, man, they really hit home with the emotions on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Magneto, I'd say the characters were the best part of the movie.
Really?
Yes, the characters were. Storm was awesome. Raven was awesome. Quicksilver was awesome. Every single character fit into the movie perfectly, and they all have perfect chemistry. And
I agree with the chemistry, and I agree with all fitting in well, except for Olivia Munn's character. I thought that she had no character development, and she just came in and sort of...
She's kind of like, we're looking for some really good mutants. She's like, I'll be here.
Yeah.
And then she becomes this, like, bad guy all of a sudden.
Yeah, there was no character build-up for her. And let me also say, the build-up in this film, I'd say 70% of the film is build-up, but it wasn't boring build-up, because there are certain films that'll have a ton of build-up, and that build-up is just boring, but I thought that this was like Rear Window, where its build-up was just as entertaining as its payoff.
Yes.
I really did like the acting, except for Jean Grey, who played the younger Jean Grey. I thought she was awful, but besides that, I thought everyone else was pretty good.
Jean Grey? Which character was that?
Jean Grey was the one who had romantic chemistry with Cyclops.
Oh.
I thought that...
Really?
Yeah,
I liked her.
I thought this, in the original trilogy, the actress who plays her in the original trilogy is way better. The writing's actually really smart for this film. I was not expecting the writing to be that good. And I like how Apocalypse has good reasoning for destroying the world. It's kind of like Ultron, but it's there's no reasoning.
Everyone's hating on Apocalypse and everyone's hating on Ultron. So.
Yeah, and again the Quicksilver scene, and I like how they display how Apocalypse is practically invincible, and because that could have came off as, wow, okay, are you serious? He's not just killing everyone right now. But it really didn't come off like that. It came off as reasonable. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you didn't like about this film?
There was a couple things I didn't like. Like, I thought that everyone's reasoning for joining Apocalypse, except for Magneto, was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, especially Psylocke. Olivia Munn, Psylocke or something like that. But, because she was basically there, she's like, I'm here, I'm a bad guy now. And Storm was basically like, oh, thanks, you saved me from stealing some bread.
Yeah.
I'll become a bad guy. And then the winged angel. It was just like, you fixed my wings. Well, Yeah, just like, I'm a bad guy now, I will kill everyone.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Apocalypse side was kind of weak. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta say...
I don't think they were weak, I just thought that there was no reasoning except for Magneto for them to join Apocalypse.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I thought that the opening scene, the very first scene, felt kind of useless. I mean, it had some sort of importance, but I think you take that scene out, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
And I also think that this film did have a lot of pacing issues. Where
I didn't think it did.
I don't think that it should have felt so built. Like, I honestly felt like, okay, so this part's about Apocalypse, X-Men, Apocalypse, X-Men together. And I really thought that they could have morphed the X-Men and Apocalypse together to, make edits to different scenes, because I really thought that had pacing issues. But besides that, I don't really have much else bad about this film. I think this is a great X-Men film, and that is why I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I'd probably give this a 9.7.
9.75. Interesting. Alright, so the two films we're comparing it to are the first X-Men and Days of Future Past. Connor, first X-Men.
First X-Men I find to be incredibly boring. And I find it to be, Hugh Jackman is the only good part of this movie.
Interesting.
And Magneto. I honestly think that this movie, there really is no point of watching.
Yeah. I agree. I think that this film, I mean, at the time it was great, and I understand why it was great at the time, but it really just feels, compared to other superhero films that we have now, it just feels sort of bland.
Yeah, it does. It feels really bland. The action could be kind of cool, but at times. But really, yeah, every single character I think is better now.
Interesting.
In the new versions.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
except for Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
I'd say McGregor and Patrick Stewart are about equal.
Yeah, I like the first X-Men. I do think it's quite outdated, and
it is really outdated.
I think X2 is a way better film. X-Men 2, I think that is a way better film compared to the first X-Men. I mean, it has some interesting characters, and it does some good world building. It just sort of feels like the cliche superhero film these days. And I know it set up those cliches, but it's almost
like... It didn't really set up those cliches.
It did, though, because it was the first superhero film in the new era of superhero films. So I don't really have much to say about X-Men.
Yeah, me neither.
Wolverine was good. Whoever played Raven, Mystique, I thought was good, but there's not much to say about this movie, and that's why I give X-Men a 6 out of 10. Good, but just not memorable. 5 out of 10.
Just straight through the middle.
Alright, and now our final one is Days of Future Past, which I personally absolutely love.
Days of Future Past is amazing.
Yeah, it's not just a good film, it's an amazing comic book film. I saw this film 4 times in theaters just because I wanted to go back to see it again and again and again. The way that they deal with time travel, I thought was excellent. Yes. I love all the characters. There's about 20 to 25 superheroes in this film, and that could feel overcrowded. Heck, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, there were 3 villains and it felt overcrowded. Yet, with this film, it really didn't feel overcrowded because every character had their moment. Whether it was 5 seconds, 5 minutes, or a 20-minute scene, every single character had their moment to shine. And that's what I really liked about the film. The action is epic. I rarely ever throw around the word epic, but the action in this film is epic. It's intense, and it's emotional, and all the build-up to it is just really, really intense. I love this film, and I don't understand why some people don't. I think that this is just an excellent film.
Yes. I'd say this is probably one of my favorite superhero films. Today's my second to Unbreakable, but I absolutely love this film. Mystique is awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm forgetting his name. Actor,
Beast?
No. Nicholas Hoult is good, though.
Yeah, Nicholas Hoult is pretty good as Beast.
It doesn't matter. But, like you said, the action was great. Everything in this film was great. I find it to be a perfect film. I think it's a really great film that everyone should see.
Yeah, and I also really like Peter Dinklage in this film.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he plays great as a villain because he's not some sort of super menacing villain that you're like, oh god, I don't want that villain coming. But, he's not black and white. You see his reasoning behind why he wants to not have the mutants around, and at times I was almost on his side more than the mutants, which was rather odd. And I like how this film has multiple subplots. It's not just, they could have made the film purely about the time travel subplot, but there's the Trask subplot. And every character has connections to each other, which I also really liked in this film. Like, every character is connected to each other some way, shape, or form. And again, Quicksilver. Oh my gosh, the Quicksilver scene in here is awesome, where he's just going around, and the music, and just perfect. How they use the music, just absolutely perfect. I love this film. I do have a few nitpicks with some things here and there, like maybe like a ton of time will have gone by in the future, and a ton of time will have gone by in the future, right? And yet in the past, it's only been like 20 minutes, and I had issues with that. But those are like small nitpicks. I barely have any issues with this film, and it's in my top 40 of all time. That is why I give X-Men Days of Future Past a 9.5 out of 10.
I will give X-Men Days of Future Past a 9.75 out of 10.
9.75. All right. So how would you rank these films?
I would go Apocalypse and Days of Future Past are tied, and then X-Men.
X-Men down there. I'm going to rank all the X-Men films since I have seen them. I'm going to say Days of Future Past, then First Class, then Apocalypse, then the Wolverine, which I find underrated. I don't know why people don't like that film. Then X2, X-Men, X3, and then Origins Wolverine. All right, that concludes our review. I am Robert Burke.
No, Comic.
This has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.